Road Break family, how's every single one of you today? And hey, it's been a while, but we are actually live. So welcome to every single one of you that is watching, either Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, any one of like the social media outlets that you guys follow us. How's every single one of you? And hey, we're gonna be talking about SummerSlam, the first pay-per-view under the Triple H's era. So Paul, are you happy? Are you upset? What's going on with this pay-per-view? Did it fill the expectations?
I don't think you can fully say, this was a Triple H 100% controlled pay per view, but overall, I think SummerSlam was good. I think it's been better than most WWE pay per views we've seen, and if this trend of in what we saw here keeps continuing, getting better, I think we're actually going to be enjoying WWE, programming for a while.
At least a little more, right?
Yeah,
At least
exactly.
a little more. Yeah, I think I feel the same. I think that did they give me what I wanted? Probably not, but I think they're getting a little better. It's not. It didn't feel like a Vince McMahon production. It felt more like somebody that is trying to change things for the better. So that was good on the hand of Triple H. The family, thank you so very much for following us, and don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. And now, Paul, let's start for the beginning. Yeah, I feel that like this match was probably in my eyes like the best match of the night, and that was for the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair going against Becky Lynch. What are your thoughts on this? Because we've seen this before since like a year ago. Remember, like Becky Lynch a year ago returned to WWE. So now it's like a whole year combination of this feud, and I liked it. It was to me the best match out of all of those that we've seen.
Yeah, they started the show with this, and big pop from the crowd. Bianca Belair, she's from Tennessee, so they were excited to see her. Becky Lynch is over. This was a feud, like you said. This is a year in the making, and this match was great. Both these women are, it's kind of saying this is one of the top star, and this is the future top star, even though Bianca's right up there in the main event scene. Obviously, she's the champ, so she's one of the top stars, and this was a great match, worthy of SummerSlam. And I think it was a good end to their feud. And it did end the feud because of what we've seen. But, this was really good. We saw the disarmers, but Bianca was able to get out of it. We saw a manhandle slam. She hit from the top. Or from the rope. I think maybe just from the second rope, but a manhandle slam she hit. So that was good. And, they fought all over like you have here outside of the arena and everything. But eventually, they were up top. Bianca hit a big Spanish fly, went down, picked her up,
KOD
right into the KOD, and you knew that was it. Either Becky was going to slide out there and it was going to continue, or it was KOD and done, and that's what it was. 1, 2, 3, and great match. This is one, obviously, it's on Peacock, whatever. This is one of the matches for sure. No doubt, this was great. Go back and watch it if you didn't see it. And then afterwards, you see the show respect. Some people in the crowd, no, don't do it. Becky's bullshit. You were thinking low blow. What was going to happen, right? Nope, yes. She hugs her. It's all legit. Okay, Becky leaves.
And then what happens, Paul? Because I remember we talked about this, one of the returns that we said she's been out for almost 2 years, a year and a half. Like the last match that she had was like 2 years ago or something. Bailey, Paul, comes out, so you were very excited about that. And I feel that was the right scenario to do this, but the reaction was not the one that I expected it was gonna be.
Yeah, and I the crowd was cheering. You saw the people cheer. You got to remember, in an arena, or in a stadium like this, where there's no ceiling for the sound to bounce off of, when they cheer, it goes up into the air and it's gone. The sound is gone. It's harder to hear a big pop in an outdoor arena like this than inside a stadium. But this was good, and Bailey's back. And the one thing to really say that this is Triple H's thing is like, okay, this women's division, it's absolute shit. You have nobody in it, not just because of injury, not just because you chased off Sasha and Naomi. Even when that wasn't the case, it's still shit because you have nobody and you treat these women like crap. So we're going to start treating them better. And here's 2 more to add to the list. You see Io Shirai. And wasn't Dakota Kai released?
She was releasing one of the last packages of release. And the one thing is, I saw already in the news, her return is 100% work of Triple H.
And obviously all this
she didn't, she was needed yet.
How good of a run did Io Shirai have under Triple H in NXT?
Yeah. Oh,
He was
Io
one of the
Sky
best.
now, right?
Yeah, well, no, that won't. I mean, I feel like that was a Vince thing that was put in place, and that was like, they didn't want to rip the whole Band-Aid off. They're peeling it real slow. You know, they don't want to hurt Vince and rip the whole thing off right away. But you see this big stare down. They get in Bianca's face like, screw you. Who do you think you are? And, you know, you said to me, oh, are we going to see Sasha and Naomi? Is like all the wounds healed? Are they going to be back? But no, you saw Becky. You saw the stare down. And the heels kind of laugh it off, go away and stuff. And, you think it's like, you know, who's going to be who's the third baby face? You know, that's something that's cool to see. Maybe hopefully it's somebody that nobody's expecting. I don't want it to be like, oh, here comes Charlotte Flair and she's a babyface now. No,
either Sasha might,
Triple H might you gotta just do something that the people might not expect. But for the start of SummerSlam, this was good.
And guys, don't forget to comment. Let us know what you guys feel about the show. Whether you guys liked it, you guys disliked it. But that was a good beginning of the show. Becky Lynch, the match with Bianca Belair, that was a bit better. And Bayley's return, for me, it was necessary. And maybe this is going to be a whole shakeup, a new staple right there with these women. So I'm excited for what the future is going to be with these girls. Like I said, right here, this is a good stare down. Like you said, we need another woman right there to be the 3 against 3. We'll see what happens. But now, Paul, let's go to the next match of the night, and this was The Miz against Logan Paul. He makes his debut. The guy, like you said, he is a good wrestler. I mean, he's not a wrestler per se, but he's trying to be a wrestler. And the moves, the execution, everything's good. And The Miz is somebody that can help him out to grow, and he carried him through the match. So I feel that was the right choice. Do I think that this is supposed to do something for Logan Paul or The Miz? No, it's just they use the name power for that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this wasn't awful. It wasn't amazing. And Logan Paul is impressive. When he did that standing moonsault, he jumped he's over 6 feet tall, and it looked like he jumped almost 4 or 5 feet in the air. I mean, it was insane. And I mean, super good athlete. His brother, I think, is the boxer, and then he obviously does wrestling and stuff.
And then he's Jean Paul.
Yeah, exactly. All the Pauls, but this one is the best podcaster of them all.
But no. The best one is always Jean Paul.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing with this match is, to me, it felt like a Monday Night Raw match. There was nothing about this that felt special, that felt pay-per-view. I mean, Maurice looked hot. It's always great to see Maurice.
Yeah. We're gonna give you her Paul. There you go.
There you go. The cake was out.
He enjoys that. He needs cake. So there you go. We're gonna give that
for me. So and
for all of us.
Tommaso Ciampa was out.
It too loud, no.
Yeah, there's enough cake for everybody to have a slice. But Tommaso Ciampa was out here. He looks like a clown. I mean, to me, the only thing that
this was stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like in NXT when he brings the chair out, but nobody popped because they're like, this is so sad. It's like when you saw LA Knight was Max Dupree. It's like the same thing. It's like, it's so sad. It's pathetic. It's like, you don't want to see this person in this role. But, to me, the only thing that saved this was the big frog splash through the table. I think that got the people back into it a little bit. But then you eventually saw, he just hit the Miz's finisher on him. Miz was going to hit Maurice with he had something, I don't know, some kind of loaded something in his hand.
Maurice was going to hit him with the cake, and then you said,
exactly.
Maurice dodged it, and then the skull-crushing finale. And Paul, in this case, right, let's talk about in the world of wrestling, in the good world of wrestling, when somebody beats you with your own finisher, you're pretty much buried. In the case of The Miz, it doesn't matter because The Miz doesn't really work as I'm a real wrestler. But you know what I mean? There's nothing for The Miz.
No. The Miz is one of those guys who is. There's certain people that it's like, okay, I'm a wrestler and I work for WWE and WWE Sports Entertainment, even though I'm a wrestler. Miz is 100%. I'm a sports entertainer. I love sports entertainment. He's not a wrestler. He's a sports entertainer. That's what The Miz is. So.
Yes, like you said, so he doesn't really do anything.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care if he looks like a loser, like a jobber. He's like, I have a reality TV show. WWE will pay me for life.
I have a hot wife. Yeah, we know that.
I get to bang a hot wife. That's all he cares about. Which is, I mean, hey, that's fine.
Hey, and if he gets a good paycheck, like you said, that's all he cares. That's fine. What does Logan Paul though? What's next for Logan Paul? What is he gonna do? Is he gonna be a full-time wrestler?
No, I don't see him. Maybe that show that they're gonna have in Wales for the international thing. Oh my God, the people in Cardiff, Wales can see Logan Paul. When does that ever happen? I don't know if they care about him like they do over here in America.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't, but that might be something. But no, I don't see him being on every Monday Night Raw or every Smackdown or I'm going to challenge Bobby Lashley for the U.S. title now. No way. No, he's going to be in storylines like this, non-title stuff. He's maybe 10 matches a year, maybe. Yeah. I could see something like that, but no, he's not going to want to hurt himself.
I probably, like you said, like it's going to be another part-timer. We see a lot of those. We'll see, but that was like the second match. Completely forgettable. The only thing that I can only say, AJ Styles was right there. What has happened with AJ Styles?
Yeah, that was it. AJ Styles, they were feuding with he was with Omar. Remember,
Edge's old group with the Miz. Now he wants to help Logan Paul. All over the place for AJ Styles. He did Logan Paul did a phenomenal forearm. It wasn't phenomenal. AJ, at least in the air when he's about to hit it, he goes like this. He's charging the move. So at least it was a good attempt for Logan Paul. But that's what we have. That was the second match, and now let's talk about the third one. This was actually very quick, which I like because there's no feuding here. There's no intensity between these two. There's no chemistry. There's no redeemable quality in this, and that's Bobby Lashley defending the United States Championship against Theory. He had promised that he was going to win the title back. This was extremely quick for me, which I appreciate just because, there was nothing here.
Yeah, and it needed to be quick. Austin Theory is one of those guys who's in that same role where, like, he can lose, but the guy's super talented. You can just excuse his losing to his inexperience, and because he's kind of an idiot. He's not, too bright.
Goofy.
But he still has the Money in the Bank briefcase. So you got to think, okay, he's still a threat. But no, Lashley is a fucking star. To me, he's right up there with Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, those guys. Walter, he's right up there with okay, who are your top 5 in all of WWE? He's in the top 5 for sure. Out of all the main event guys, he's up there.
Yes.
And he needed to, if he's not going to be challenging Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, any of those guys, and he's going to be your mid-card champion or one of them, he needs to look super dominant. And that's what this was here. You got him in a hurt lock, boom, 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 done. And, a couple minutes, this match was maybe between 5 and 10 minutes. I mean, Theory looked all right in this, and Theory's a big boy. There was when him and Lashley were throwing the punches, it didn't seem unbelievable that Theory was hanging in there because he's over 6 feet tall too. And, he is like I said, a muscular guy. So, I mean, it looked good, but no, Lashley had to kill him. That's what he did. And, I'm excited to see what they do with him too. Cause you don't want him to be an afterthought lost here in the mid card.
To me, Lashley is the one that, that's the guy that you want to look good. And, do you have the big plans for him? That's the guy that, you actually want to, do everything. You want to keep building this guy because if he's not going to be Drew McIntyre, I don't know who can be the one that is going to dethrone Roman Reigns. So that's the thing for me. But, I like this for what it was. Just quick and, Herlock, one, a submission. That was extremely right. That's what it needed to happen. So now let's go with the next one, Paul. And this is the one that, we have little expectations because again, Judgment Day started out really good. There was it was a very promising group with Edge. They changed with Finn Balor, and then Edge didn't want to be the superpower thing, so that's why they went down a little bit. And now they're feuding with the Mysterios. Do we really care for this feud? Not a lot. Rey and Dominik, they just celebrated 20 years of Rey Mysterio. What did you tell me, Paul? They have the footage from ECW, WCW. They could have easily done 30, 40 years of Rey Mysterio and nothing.
Yeah, just this whole thing is why, you celebrate Rey Mysterio, you probably sell t-shirts and stuff with that on, try to make money off him, and then you just job him out. Yeah. You know what I mean? They just look like losers. And I want to ask you something, what do you think of Dominik Mysterio? I saw somebody brought up a good point, and I agree with this. They said, but man, you start to see all these other young guys like these MJFs and Braun Breakers and guys who are, and even Austin Theory, guys who are 20, 21, 22, 23 years old. They're you could say leaps and bounds ahead of Dominik Mysterio. Maybe Dominik Mysterio can sell like the good baby face and stuff like that, but I mean, look at some of the bodies these guys have on them and the intensity they show and the promos they can cut. And Dominik just looks like he looks like Eddie. He's like, oh, I'll just give myself the mullet and, you know, whatever, blah, blah. I mean, he doesn't do anything legit. At least Rey, you pop for him and he has the mask and he's exciting and he has charisma, at least when he wrestles. Maybe not in the promo.
That's the thing with Dominik. Like you said, there's no charisma. There's no character
the
behind
match. And speaking of charisma, you have two guys at like Finn Balor again. He's over. Even if you don't like him, you can admit he's a good wrestler and he gets over. Damian Priest has so much charisma.
But to me, Priest, you know, like remember the Damian Priest we used to see on NXT? Now he's a complete afterthought.
Well, I mean, again, you want to go back to Bobby Lashley, you know, so great. Who could he feud with? If both of these guys would be perfect. Damian Priest versus Bobby Lashley. Have we seen that one-on-one for a serious feud? No.
Yeah.
And it would be a legit feud for the mid-card. But, I mean, this match, nobody cared about it. The whole point of it was let's get Judgment Day over. So when they win, they can beat down the Mysterios. You know, Rhea Ripley, she's out there. Oh, my God. You know, I thought we were going to see a Liam Mysterio. We didn't. You know, it was just Rhea. And, you know, when it's over and the Mysterios get their ass beat, Edge comes to save the day. And the Mysterios look like losers. It's like, thanks for coming. It's not like Rey got up and kicked the shit out of them. No.
They become just allies for Edge.
Not even allies. They were just pawns. They were just losers to just
That's the part that I don't like. And of course, like you said, Edge to me, like all the mystique, all the joy, or like the expectations, all like the good reactions after his return last year and all of that, it was great. But now it's just like you know, the fact that he has not been champion just yet. Remember winning the Royal Rumble, like all of that, is really bad.
And that's what I said. Like you know, they gave Triple H a plate full of shit, and he's like, well, I can't just throw the whole plate away. Because everyone will go, well, what happened? You know, why are all the storylines completely different? So he has to work with what he's given and dig his way out of this. But, you know, I don't like this with Edge.
It's going to be a while. It's going to take a while.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while to, like, he starts righting a lot of wrongs. Like you said, Edge needs to be champion somehow. You know, why would you come back? Remember, you told me, like, when they released that whole documentary about his return, all of that. Oh, but it sucks. Why? Because he doesn't become champion. You know, like, and it's true, at the expense of somebody else. So it's not good. And like I said, this match, Judgment Day for me already like buried. This guy's like without a credible leader because Priest is not ready to be the leader. Finn Balor is never going to be a leader. They don't believe him and they don't see him in that light.
Well, I mean, maybe Triple H now, and you know, but again, I don't see what are you going to do the Judgment Day versus Edge and the Mysterios?
Yeah, who cares? I'm sorry. Who cares? I don't care for that feud. You know, this to me, like you said, the indication that that's gonna be, and I don't like that. I don't really care for that. Paul, let's talk about this one that was okay because this guy brings a lot of intensity to the plate. Like, you know, the way that like he's excited on the microphone. Remember when Nakamura comes out, he dances. There's a lot of good talk there, a lot of good phrases. Way better than Corey Graves, and he's done this way less than Corey Graves. Guys against a guy that like is just a walking joke. They give him like all the worst storylines that they can have. And that sucks for Happy Corbin, but at least the match was enjoyable. And that's because Pat McAfee is actually a guy that loves wrestling. And that's why he works to be a better wrestler every single time he has an opportunity.
And I want to ask you something, because you mentioned Corey Graves in the commentary. I saw a bunch of people were saying they thought the commentary felt more relaxed tonight, kind of maybe a little bit more organic feeling. Did you pick up on that? Did you notice that at all, or
I think
not
that like
too
they
much?
were more, like I feel that like they were given more freedom to talk. You know, like especially when we're gonna talk about the match with Roman and Brock Lesnar, that felt completely real to me. You know,
like there was no Vince McMahon.
Like, he's right by me.
Yeah, or nobody else in their ear. Yeah, it felt real. So that again, these little subtle things that Triple H can change instantly. People notice the things that he can't, are going to take some time. But no, I mean, this match, for what it was, this was good. This was enjoyable. Pat McAfee, again, this is how you do Logan Paul. You can feature him on the shows. He can get physical. He can do stuff. But for the actual match, the bell, ding, 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 for all this stuff, it's got to be pay-per-view. You got to make some kind of money off it, even though you don't make money. Peacock is $5 a month. It is what it is. but you know what I'm saying. You know, you got to have it be special. And I mean, this was all right. Corbin, obviously, they sell him in here, you know, for a little bit, but McAfee's the star. You know, this guy's going to win. Big dive to the outside, swanton. I liked when, you know, later on in the ring when Corbin went for the end of days and McAfee countered it. I like how he countered his finisher. Hey, you know, I've known you forever. You're my opponent. I know your move. I like that little touch there. And, you know, when you had in the picture, we had him rolled up there. I thought McAfee almost, you know, Brock Lesnar himself when when he went to go do the code red or the sunset flip. It looked like, you know, because both these guys are so tall. I thought McAfee didn't get it and he was going to, you know, hit his head on the way round, but I guess he got it. And the roll up, I mean,
he got it. He's giving you a thumbs up. Yeah, I got it.
The match, I mean, they gave these guys some time. This wasn't bad, but I mean, again, it was just a feud to get McAfee on the show because people like him. And, you know, and I'm not going to shit on it. But when you really look at the whole feud and you want to get into it, do I care about Corbin? No. I mean, it's cool that this is a shoot. Yeah, they were teammates, they were roommates, all that stuff's real. It's not like Kane and Undertaker. Oh yeah, brothers. No, this is real. But, you know, I don't care. None of these guys are champion. None of this really means anything. Corbin's going to go on to another.
They make this match because McAfee. They don't make it for Corbin.
Exactly. Corbin's going to go on to another bullshit storyline, and McAfee's just going to go back to commentary. So
yeah, and that's what happened. Remember, after he did this, he went back and he was saying hi to like Paul, to Corey Graves and Michael Cole. That's what it was. Yeah, so that's what it was. So like to me, at least enjoyable. But like I said, so far up to the show, I'll give it like a 4, 5 at most. A lot of people already, it was so great. It was, at least for me, you need to give me a little bit more than that, more seriousness. But it wasn't terrible though. I didn't want to change the channel completely because we had to be live in review. So thank you so much, everybody that is watching. And don't forget to comment. Let us know what you guys feel about the show and everything. Well, this one, I thought for a title switch, it was due. And, you know, Jeff Jarrett as the special guest referee, I thought that he was going to play a role. Maybe he did. But, I mean, we've seen this a lot of times. This is kind of like the New Day against the Usos. They can have good matches in the ring, all of that. There's a lot of chemistry. But do I really care about this? No. This division is dead because it's just these two teams and Alpha Academy. That's it.
Yeah, and they're starting to push the Viking Raiders again a little bit. And, you know, again, that was a Triple H team where he had and pushed in a successful and serious manner. So, you know, we're seeing some stuff. Got to give it some time. This match, it was good. You know, the Street Profits, we've seen them. They've been serious. You know, at least more serious the past couple weeks. So that's something that we've said before in the past. We wanted to see from them less goofiness, less, you know, trying to be funny all the time. And, you know, I mean, the matches that these guys put on are great. Montez Ford, obviously, you saw he gained more muscle. You know, people are saying how he's going to be the star and all this stuff. And you kind of feel that they're getting him ready.
Right there. He's listening. He's like, okay, Paul.
He's like, okay, legit. You know, I mean,
thank you, Paul.
And you kind of feel, you feel that they're getting that ready. And I mean, the whole time in this match, they keep talking Jeff Jarrett. He's making consistent calls. He always makes sure that he's looking at the shoulders. Because last time Montez had his shoulders up and they counted it. So you always see him. He always gets in position. He's always looking at the shoulders. Real consistent on the counts. But, you know, people get mad at the counts. You know, all this stuff. They start yelling at Jeff. Whole time commentary is saying, hey, he's being legit. He's not being bullshit, anything like that. You know, big back and forth, obviously. At the end of this thing, Angelo Dawkins, he gets the tag. He hits the big slam. Okay, you know, they're making their big comeback. And
from the heavens.
Yeah, Dawkins had a big dive, took the Usos out. You know, like I said, they threw the other one back in the ring. Tag, oh my God, from the heavens, here it comes. He hits it, but Montez Ford, he sells the ribs. Oh my God, I'm done. You know, until he crawls over. Jeff Jarrett gets in position. 1, 2, 3. Oh, he kicked out. Oh my God. And then he gets in his face. He's like, fuck you, old man. Just because you're in Tennessee, you can't make the 3 count. I'll show you. I'll win anyway. And no, you won't show us, at least not on this day. You know, the Usos, they make the big, you know, they come back. And what was it?
3D?
Was it the doubles? Oh no, it was the 1D. That was it. Yeah, because they hit the big double splash.
I mean, the 1D, but like, you know, the 3D.
Because they hit the
kick, you know, the regular, and then now for a little bit, they're starting to use that as their older finisher. So
Yeah, because I was thinking the double splash, but no, that was the kick out, or he broke up the pin then. But yeah, you know, they hit that and they get the win. And I mean, hey, with what we saw in the main event, it makes sense. I think if you were going to do a title switch, it would have been here. But again, with what we saw in the main event, this all makes sense. I mean, it was a good match, but I think the only thing is now with how you saw Montez Ford get pissed, we either got to turn the Street Profits heel. But I wouldn't even split up the team. I would almost just turn them heel. You have that would make the Viking Raiders just come up with more babyface teams, do something, turn them heel. You know, because it would be something different with them. Because splitting them up, you already don't have any tag teams. You can't split them up.
And they were supposed to be split up, like, you know, during the pandemic, even, because, like you said, like, everybody believes that the Montez Ford is going to be the next superstar. But, like, I guess for some reason they stopped that and say, hey, you know, bumped up a little bit so Corny doesn't call you, you know, you're just a skin wrestler. You know, gotta look good for Corny, all of that stuff. But like you said, maybe they become heel or they start to use in different type of tactics. But again, you need more teams. You know, because this is already 3-4 pay-per-views, like the same match. I don't care. And remember when the Street Profits were champion and they went against Andrade and also Angel Garza, the same thing. Remember? Every pay-per-view, oh, they're gonna win. And in the end, it never happened. So I don't want that to, like, you know, be the case in this situation. But at least, you know, like you said, everything makes sense because of what happened, you know, with like Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. So that was at least extremely, you know, credible and okay. So Paul, now tell me a little bit about this, because we thought that this was gonna be a match that like Ronda Rousey was gonna go quick. There's no way that Liv Morgan can go toe-to-toe with Ronda. She's not a Charlotte, she's not a Becky. Yet, I mean, she won the championship. So they actually, I think they found the best way to do it without making Ronda look weak. And, you know, kind of Liv gets a lucky day and she remains the champion. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this was done in a way that, okay, Ronda is clearly the big bad. She's the monster. She's the baddest bitch. She's the one who's no way she can lose to Liv Morgan. Unless it's some kind of fucky thing completely out of her control. And that's exactly what it was. I mean, she, you know, started off this match, back Liv into the corner. She gets, you know, the arm bars and stuff. Oh my God. You know, Liv is just on defense this whole time. Gets a rope break with a big toe, you know, like barely. And then,
no pun intended, right?
Yeah. And then Ronda's pissed off, you know, all this stuff. And it's just the intensity is all there from Ronda the whole time. You know, the match wasn't anything spectacular, but long story short, at the end of it, she gets her in this, you know, in the picture here. And, you know, the shoulders are down. 1, 2, and Liv is screaming, you know, like she's being murdered. 1, 2, boom, boom, boom. She's tapping out. The ref don't see it. He counts 3. The tap out came before the 3. So if you're looking at what you see on camera, you know, the winner, Ronda Rousey, but with the ref's call, you know, Liv Morgan retains. After this, Liv Morgan, fuck that, boom, arm bar, whatever on Liv. Liv's done. She throws her out of there. She grabs the ref, you know, big judo throw on him. And I thought, here we go. Once she judo through the ref, you go, here's full heel Ronda. This is what we want. This is what we wanted right when she came back. Nobody wants babyface Ronda. And do you know who pushed babyface Ronda? Whose agenda that was? We heard all the reports. Vince. Who wanted babyface Ronda? Vince. Who has literally a brain and knows, no, that's stupid? Everyone else, including Triple H. So now, no, he's going to do heel Ronda. So this was a way, Liv Morgan, her title reign, it lasts another day. And we're going to,
right here, like
and now we see Ronda turn heel.
Right? So we can see the hand. He's stopping out. Like you said, like he's the post attack to the ref. So finally, Ronda Rousey is going to be heel, and it's more credible because now she's going to like do whatever it takes to get that title away from, you know, from Liv Morgan. So we have somebody right here, Cage My IQ. How you doing? This is the way to turn Ronda heel and let her go home for a few months. I feel that, like, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for joining us. And yeah, I think it's a good idea. And yeah, because remember, there's been a lot of commentaries or a lot of like stories that like she's uncomfortable, yet she doesn't like to be babyface, and she still resents the WWE universe for everything that they say.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing is, if she does want time off or something, this was the perfect angle to do that, because she can get suspended. You know, oh, you're suspended indefinitely or suspended for 6 months or however they want to do it. or if they want her for, a match, a feud, obviously then you don't suspend her, but you just turn her heel. So either way, this was good.
Yeah, no, like you said, and we're gonna see this probably also, like you said, at Clash at the Castle. So this is okay. And then I feel that she's gonna have to win that championship because Liv Morgan. How many more times can she get away against Ronda Rousey? That's all I can say on that. How many more times does she have what it takes? She's getting better. She finally became champion, but now there's going to be other women that deserve the same opportunity. And I don't know if she deserves to pin Ronda Rousey like clean, because neither Charlotte nor Becky have been able to do it. So at least, in that spectrum of things, I think that will be a bad decision to have her do that. But we'll see. Drew McIntyre, what do you think about this? Because he comes out, he's the number one contender for the Clash of the Castle. Oh yeah, I'm going to be legit. I'm going to beat Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, all of that. It doesn't matter. Brings the sword, like everywhere he goes, he has to bring that sword with. That's the only thing with me with Drew. I love him as a champion. He got a great run, but can he have something different? I was
just gonna say, this is the only thing I want to say about this in the Seth Rollins Matt Riddle segment is save this for Raw. I don't need this. Then the pay-per-view can end 20 minutes earlier.
Yeah, and we can actually have the review 20 minutes earlier.
I mean, the thing with Drew, I agree with the same thing, but especially with what we saw here, I don't see him winning it. And Drew feels stale. I mean, he beat Sheamus. Nobody cares.
We've seen that before.
Like, he beat Sheamus to be the number one. That feels like such a, like, that doesn't feel special to be like it wasn't like a third. They didn't have a 20-man battle royal, to determine this. It was, you beat Sheamus.
To give me a number one contender.
Yeah.
And they bring me the idea that because they're British, that's why they can only be the only people that they can challenge for the belt at that pay-per-view.
Yeah, they're from the from the UK.
They're from the UK, British. Like all of that. So that's my point. And also because like they have the same match, and in the end, McIntyre always wins. Like, can Sheamus at least pull the offset at some point? That's when I believe that there's a feud going. Because if you keep winning, why do I keep having the same match? And then, like you said, I want to mention this. Matt Riddle comes out. This was done in a really poor fashion. I think probably the lowest point for me. He comes out, he says, Randy told me that I should give my all, I shouldn't care, all of that. He starts going against Rollins, another curb stomp, and more fuel for what's going to be that match at Clash of the Castle. I didn't care for this because, like you said, they suspended the match. Why was the point of bringing them for like 5 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think anybody really cared. They kind of were like, oh man, when they started fighting and started going at it, people were like, oh yeah, he hit them with a stomp, and then it was like a wet fart. People were like, oh,
exactly. No offense from Riddle, nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, okay, yeah, like we wanted it. Nah, just kidding. So Paul, finally we get it to not the main event, and that's not the match that we're gonna have, but like we're gonna tell me a little about Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Did they have their best match? A lot of people are saying that the brutality, the violence, it was way beyond what we've seen before during the past 6 times that they actually met in pay-per-view. For me, I give the match that they had at WrestleMania 38. I think that was the one that I enjoyed the most. That was in New Orleans. But this was a really good attempt of giving me something outside the box. Very different. And also Brock Lesnar showed that he's just beyond humanity. So they had to do many things, but it's been done before.
I'm going to say that besides the match that they had that Rollins cashed in, this is the most memorable, or the second most memorable one, I think, when, you look at all the matches between these two. I mean, for Lesnar to start this thing, he rides, the front end loader down there. He gets in it, and obviously this thing's going to come into play later. And I mean, for the longest time, they just had their match. They're going at it. You see Lesnar, he gets him in the choke. Oh, is Roman going to tap? He lets him go because it don't matter if he taps. He just has to choke him out enough till he,
Look what case, and something that Jean Paul has been saying for the longest time in AEW and every time we watch wrestling. I'm personally tired of all the interferences in all of his matches. It's true though. I mean, Brock is fighting against 3 more people. It's
Oh
never
yeah, I
fair.
mean that's how it always is, and it's one thing where they did it too much with Roman in the beginning, where now we see it all the time. Where
Yeah.
you didn't need to do it with Roman all the time because Roman is still dominant. But anyway, I mean, like I said, they had the normal match in the beginning. You thought Lesnar was going to choke him out, everything, all this stuff, fighting on the outside, this and that. But the match really didn't get crazy until, what was the lifting up the ring? Was that the first crazy thing?
No, the first crazy thing was like this when like he scooped him up, like when he.
Yeah, that was it.
scooped him
Yeah,
up
yeah,
against
he
Roman.
threw Roman in there, and then he dumped him. And I mean,
But
not
again,
not,
for
not
example,
real
like, you know,
high,
whoa,
not real high.
what is
he
that
he
do?
lowered it. It's like
What is that do?
I mean, it got the people excited. They were into it. I mean, if anything felt like Attitude Era, or as trying to get it with the
They always try
Zamboni
to
or the
recreate
beer
that.
truck. I mean, but just the holy shit! Oh my God, what's going on? This is as close as you can get. This is all I guess what you can do. And I mean, it got the people into it. It got me going, okay. He dumps Roman, more back and forth. Then he gets it where Roman's
F5,
in the
the
ring.
regular stuff. Yeah. Spears.
Roman's in the ring and he gets it under and he lifts up the ring and he rolls and it falls out. I mean, the place is going crazy. The ring is jacked up for the rest of the match. So, I mean, it's just chaos. They're fighting on the outside. The Usos come out. Lesnar lays out the Usos. Paul Heyman gets up. He goes, you know
This
what?
is when Paul was already like this
Yeah.
right here. Yeah.
He hands him the belts. He's like, Brock, don't do it. He's my tribal chief. I've worked with you before. Listen to me. Just take the belts. And Lesnar laughs at him. Okay, haha, legit. He picks him up. F5s Heyman on the table, and Heyman laid there like he got shot with a bullet the entire match. I think somebody rolled him to a corner, but Heyman is great. And you got to give him props for his size, his age, and everything to take that F5.
And he took the F5, he broke the commentary table.
So
and like
I mean, that was legit.
How to sell.
Yeah, that was legit. And I mean, kept going at it back and forth, big spears on the outside. He hit him with the belt and all this stuff, and they get up, and that was a big thing too in this match. It was guys would get up right at the 9 count, or they'd stumble to their feet for right before 10 and then immediately fall over.
And see what Cage says, they should have trapped Brock under the tractor lift. Yeah, they should have done maybe
I was
that.
almost thinking.
Remember you and me before we went on there, we said, are they going to bring Austin Theory out? They did, but again, he looked like a fool. He looked like
and you know what? And I'm glad you said that, because I was getting so excited. I was going to take us into the finish, and I forgot about Austin Theory. Yeah, so once everybody's laid out, you hear his music, and they did the bullshit that they always do, where he comes down and he's like, yes, he does the motion where they're like, it's like a pizza delivery guy handing you your fucking large with extra cheese. I'm cashing in. But the ref doesn't do the motion. Oh, yeah, he's cashing in. And they fucking lay out Theory. He gets knocked out. Roman uses the briefcase, knocks Lesnar out and everything. And Austin Theory gets laid out again by Lesnar later on. So no, he didn't cash in. It's one of those things where they blue ball you, they cock tease you, but nobody cares. They go, okay, they did it again. Nobody cares. Nobody expects Austin Theory to actually cash in and win. People popped because they thought, oh shit, here comes Theory. He's going to get pinned. This is the end of the match. That's why people pop. Nobody expects him to be the undisputed champion. But then, Roman Reigns and all them, when the Usos, they get back up, they just start throwing everything on top of him. And also, I didn't like this because in rules, if you're throwing stuff on top of him and you're still climbing on top of him, that's technically touching him, which should break the count. So they should have thrown all that on top of him, stood there, taunted, did the, whatever, and then the ref can count. But maybe that would have made Lesnar look weak to lay there. I don't know. But, that's the way that's the rules. Or otherwise, and they probably didn't do the thing with the front end loader because the only one who probably knew how to operate it was Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, no, they probably
He's probably the only one who knew how to use it.
Before the show went on there. My big issue with it is he beat him with both of the titles. He beat him with a chair. He beat him with like so many items, and bro kept getting up, What is, if you keep having so many comebacks, the end should be him beating Roman. If you keep giving me the same thing,
I mean, the only thing is, like, if you just think about it from a realistic standpoint, is like if you already went through so much shit, somebody could like flick you in the forehead and that would knock you over because you already got beat up so much.
Like the Rev Raj, the count every single time. LOL.
I mean, the only thing I'll say with that is if I was that ref and had to do as many counts as I did in that match, I'd probably rush a couple of the last ones too. Because,
and going back, like we were talking about this, it's just like if you give me so much good of a story, and I drown, right before when I'm gonna come out, in the surface. Why?
But this is the thing though. We already saw the reports. Lesnar said, if he's gone, I'm gone. Talking about Vince. Maybe he had some loyalty to Vince. Vince was his guy. Vince was the one. When Lesnar always cried, Vince would put an extra 0, on his check. We don't know what the thing was. Cody was going to be the guy. He was going to be okay. He was going to be the one to defeat Roman Reigns, or so we all thought. Cody got hurt. We won't know for now. Okay, so what? Is that Brock Lesnar now? No, Lesnar is 1, never going to be the full-time guy. 2, he's pissed that Vince left. So why would we put the belts on him? Maybe they say, hey, Roman, can you stick around a little bit longer? Cody comes back January, whatever, his time frame is or whatever their plan is. Roman is the safe bet to keep as your champion because Lesnar, you don't know what he's going to do. So, I mean, it might not be the choice that people like, but I think
if the long term is, I guess I'm better at it, but still I'm not comfortable with it. I would much rather just to see McIntyre beating Roman at Clash. And hopefully that's what they do, because otherwise, why would you, prolong this more? And also, like, why would you make Drew the number 1 contender? You want to piss them off? Not now, because Triple H is the one in charge. Because remember, Vince is noticeable known to like bury you in your hometown or your home country or like among your own. So he will do that. But like, let's hear for like Cage. He says, I personally think Drew could beat Roman Reigns, then Theory will catch in on Drew. That would piss me off even more. I don't think that Austin Theory is quite ready to even be champion.
No, because again, like I said, the one thing with that is you gotta, if to be the WWE champion is different than like AEW or even like Impact, any of them. Because WWE goes, who are we putting on the billboard? Who's going to be on the side of the truck? Who's going to be on the poster? Austin Theory, yeah, they like him, good-looking kid. But no, he's not going to be standing there with the WWE World Heavyweight Champion on the poster. At least not yet.
This is what like those people are used to see.
Not when you have somebody like him. Or even AJ Styles, Edge, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley. And not even counting these 2 that were just in this match. When you have those guys on the roster, you're not going to do that with an Austin Theory, especially when you betrayed him so far like a goof. If he was 100% serious, I'm the best young talent in the whole, I'm better than The Rock at his age, I'm better than Kurt Angle than he was, screw Braun Breaker, he's bullshit. If Austin Theory was presenting himself legit, I could see it. Now I could see the opposite. I could see Theory cashing in here and getting pinned. Now then they'll go the full distance, maybe, but no, I don't know. I mean, they could pull the swerve and do it. We know Triple H was high on this guy in NXT, but even in NXT under Triple H, he was still kind of the goofball. So,
yes,
we got to wait and see. Yeah. And I guess that's the one thing that's exciting now. And that's the one one day he will be, once you start presenting Austin Theory more serious. He's one of the best, wrestlers I think out there right now for his age in the mid to young 20s. Yeah. Definitely, but the one thing right now with WWE, I think everybody can agree on, which feels good, and it's not even the backstage Vince McMahon shit. It's what we're seeing in the matches. Is we're at least interested now. We're intrigued. Yeah. We want to see where this goes. So I think that's one thing that's good.
And to conclude, thank you for Cage, especially for being with us, for supporting us. We will try to be live more times, so guys, get ready, because Robert is going to be live more often. We're trying to expand the technology. Hopefully we're delivering for your need. And like you said, the fact that Vince has retired has brought a lot of eyes. And again, we're all giving WWE an opportunity one more time. We're all saying, hey, This is what I've been waiting for. This is your time for me to, so you can deliver for me. We've been loyal. This is the time. And, not saying for like Vince had to go away, but like everything is falling into place for Triple H to bring the product up, to lift it all up, and, to be able to give more what we've been waiting for. I mean, the brutality was there in the match with Brock and Roman. So I feel that there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of room to see an improvement in this, and this is always going to maybe it's going to put a lot of pressure on AEW, everybody else. So this is good. This is just good. I will see more surprises. Triple H put a tweet when we saw Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Shirai and this is just getting started. So the ideas are going to keep floating. Thank you so very much for Cage and my IQ. We appreciate it. And Paul, your closing thoughts before we all the air.
Yeah, I mean, just to pretty much reiterate what I said is Triple H is one of those guys where he knows what the majority of the fans want to see.
Yeah.
He maybe don't hit a home run or give you exactly what you want every time, but at least when you're done watching the show, you're gonna go, you know what, that was pretty good. You're either gonna love it or you're gonna go, hey, you know what, that was all right. I don't think you're ever gonna see something presented that it's like this was the complete shits, especially compared to what we saw with NXT 2.0 and the recent how many months of the main roster.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, this
is only the beginning.
This was a good start.
Triple H seasoned it up. So
yeah,
it's
this
not
is a good start
that it was like from Triple H.
So we got to wait and see what they go. But SummerSlam, I would say Triple H. If you got to do thumbs up, thumbs down, that simple, I'd give it a thumbs up.
I'll give it thumbs up just because, like you said, at least it wasn't a complete disappointment. The best way to say it was like SummerSlam went from being skippable to completely it was just a must see. And it didn't disappoint a lot. There was a couple of things, but again, give time to Triple H, and then we'll be able to say, hey, there's an improvement or not. But what there is always going to be an improvement is us. So thank you so very much to every single one of you. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Let us know how you guys feel. We're everywhere. We're on Facebook, on YouTube, we're on Twitch. We're going to be following, all over the social media waves. So where can they find us, Paul?
Well, he just told you, but I'll tell you again. You can follow us, Rope Break, on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course, right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and it is
the